What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I'm going to be live streaming a little bit later this afternoon over on Quartering Live. But for now, things are getting pretty spooky out there. Whether it's these people dressed all in black showing up at Charlie Kirk vigils, or it's these enormous amounts of threats, according to Fox News and local police, that the Charlie Kirk funeral event, I'm sure he's having like a private actual funeral with his friends and family, and then this big event, along with some pretty scary stuff posted by Laura Loomer, who is all over the place but tends to be right more often than she's wrong. Let's talk about all this. I've got more videos today on my second channel too. It's linked in the description, the Jeremy Hambley channel. Really hope that we get to 200,000 subscribers there by the end of the year. But there are my uncensored videos there. You get at least one a day, sometimes two or three. So check that out. But let's talk about first this thing with Laura Loomer bringing up, imminent. This says, new must read, urgent intelligence alert. The NCTC confirms that Al-Qaeda presence is on U.S. soil, imminent multi-city attacks. Now, again, people laughed at Laura when she said that President Biden had a health issue in New York City, or in Las Vegas, I think it was. She turned out to be right about that. Many times, Laura Loomer, I don't care for her like catty infighting, but I'm guilty of the same garbage, so I can't really judge anybody. But it says, sources tell me tonight that the NCTC has officially determined that Islamic terrorists affiliated with Al-Qaeda have infiltrated U.S. soil and are actively planning a series of coordinated attacks. This marks the first time federal officials have openly acknowledged the immediacy of such threats, signaling potential escalation of domestic jihad activity not seen since the height of the ISIS-inspired plots in the mid-2010s. Now, it'd be nice if these people just did their jobs. The reason I'm bringing this up is because, it says indicators of perception or preparation, uniforms, hospitals, deception tactics. My sources tell me the attack strategy by Al-Qaeda is designed to sow confusion and cripple emergency response. These people have been purchasing large quantities of police and first responder uniforms from surplus outlets and online vendors in at least 5 states. These acquisitions, traced through bulk credit card anomalies and CCTV footage, suggest they plan to impersonate law enforcement during these attacks, allowing the attackers to blend in, direct panicked crowds, or even hit secondary strikes on fleeing people. My sources also tell me that their plans in the U.S. are focused on hospitals and medical facilities, which, okay. The NCTC even has evidence that these people are scoping out emergency rooms, trauma centers, triage points like New York, LA, Chicago, Houston, and Miami. The intent appears to be clear: disrupt healthcare infrastructure to prevent treatment of wounded, effectively creating a second wave of victims through this attack. Now, obviously, you can see right here, it's an official government report. This is not something Laura Loomer just made up, right? Here we have this report. Now, I don't know, it was just unclassified, but I don't see a date on it. But, it appears to be, looks like it covers 2025. You see this year right here. AQAP threatened the U.S. president, vice president, secretary. So there's various threats listed in this document. But what I thought was interesting was the police, impersonating police. Now we go to the Charlie Kirk Memorial and listen to this.
We learn an armed man is now in custody after entering the memorial site posing as a law enforcement officer.
Matt Finn joins us.
Interesting. Right? Pretty spooky.
It's now outside the State Farm Stadium where the service is being held. Good morning, Matt.
Hi, Rachel. It is a calm, beautiful morning here on the ground right now. And of course, it'll be a much different scene at this hour tomorrow, where we expect thousands of people across the country, maybe even the world, to arrive here at State Farm Stadium. They're going to be greeted by intense federal and local security. Obviously,
my concern with them announcing where it would be ahead of time, I kind of wish they wouldn't have done that. I wish they would have said, like, it's going to be in the Phoenix area. I mean, sure, deduction could tell you where it might be, but people could have went into the stadium in the last week and hid weapons or hid things leading up. Now, I imagine there is a massive sweep going on. I'm sure that they're not allowing people in. And again, if I was going, I would feel totally safe. I refuse to live my life in fear. That's letting these losers win. I refuse to let these dorks, these protesters make me afraid. I work on, like, in my Discord, now we have like everyday carry stuff. We have all sorts of, helpful information, stuff like that. I'm getting more educated, but I'm not changing the way I live my life. I'm not going to let these people win.
Sweeping for not just the president, but a long list of VIPs. But ahead of tomorrow morning's memorial.
Oh, so catch us. So everything's basically been closed and they're already sweeping the building, which I assume they're going to find, although the roof is sloped, that is concerning. Too soon?
Sweeping for not just the president, but a long list of VIPs. But ahead of tomorrow morning's memorial for Charlie Kirk, the Secret Service says a suspicious man with a gun and a knife was taken into custody yesterday after he was found inside State Farm Stadium, according to the Washington Post. Secret Service says the unidentified man was exhibiting suspicious behavior inside the stadium. Now, the report says the man claimed to be law enforcement but showed fake credentials.
What is going on here? Now, again, when you align that with what Laura Loomer tweeted last night, she tweeted, sure enough, we have a man impersonating a police officer.
The Secret Service writing in a statement, the individual is not a member of authorized law enforcement working the event and is currently in custody. The U.S. Secret Service and local law enforcement are investigating the circumstances as to why he was at the location.
The American people need to know, and probably before Sunday, who this person is and what they were doing. The American people need to know who this guy was. Was he an obsessed fan? Were his credentials just out of date? Was he, like the old guy at the university? But this is really, it's right in line with what Laura Loomer was reporting.
Tomorrow's memorial for Charlie Kirk here in Glendale, Arizona at State Farm, home to the Arizona Cardinals, has been designated a Tier 1 level event equivalent to a Super Bowl.
Now, I will tell you this too. I will be live streaming this on my live channel as well as on Rumble, because I thought maybe people would want to have a spot to hang out and talk, but I believe it's at 1 o'clock. It'll be a little after lunch tomorrow. I think 1 o'clock Eastern or 2 o'clock Eastern is when it starts. It's going to be a long day, a long ceremony. But listen to this. Look at this. Something is off. This man was spotted wearing a law enforcement badge at the crime scene of Charlie Kirk's assassination. The second he noticed a camera, he tore it off and hid it. In Utah, impersonating an officer, even just displaying a badge without authority, is a crime. If he was law enforcement, why would he be behaving like this? If he wasn't, what exactly is he doing? Here he has obviously a badge, right? We don't need the spooky music too. There he is. This guy's talking to him. He took off his badge, put it in his pocket. What's going on with this guy? Was it the same guy? I'm going to imagine that he's probably not a real cop. If you're a cop in uniform or you're displaying a badge, you're probably not wearing a Make America Great Again hat. This guy talking to him seems maybe like he's questioning him. Like, why are you're not a cop? What's going on with this? This guy looks at the camera. He's got the little fake cop mustache. Now, I will tell you that impersonating an officer is something that actually happens a lot. there's like these weird, people have like a weird fetish with it. Also, people for whatever reason, I don't know, they like fetishize becoming a cop or something like that. I don't know exactly what is going on here. But we have this guy on the scene. Is it the same guy? What if it was the same guy? And, maybe they need to tell me who this guy was detained. Was he a white guy? Was he a brown guy? I mean, it's pretty, an armed man detained at Charlie Kirk Memorial Site after claiming to be law enforcement. Who is this? We need to release his picture. Is this a part of something bigger? Is he just a LARPer? Was he, I don't know, a retired cop that was just doing his own security sweep? I don't know. But I'm going to dive deeper into this on the Jeremy Hambly channel today, because that's where I kind of put the stuff that's a little more spicy and a little more like, I can't be totally sure. I'm trying to make this channel a little more stick to the facts. But, you had Morrissey cancel 2 American concerts after assassination threat on Blue Sky. I mean, the temperature has never been higher in America. And I'm very, very concerned. And I'm hoping that Charlie Kirk and Dan Bongino and the Secret Service can get their poop in a group here and get stuff together and start giving us some good information about thwarting these. We need to know who this guy was. This is not good. And I'll keep you updated. If we get his identity, I'll upload it here on the main channel, obviously. And I hope to see you over on the Jeremy Hambly channel, linked in the description, or you can just search Jeremy space Hambly, Hambly, on YouTube, and you'll find it. We'll talk to you again real soon.